Welcome back to Golden Stories, where every moment leads to a twist you won't see coming. Today's story begins on an ordinary flight, but it won't stay ordinary for long. The boarding door clicked shut, and the cabin filled with the hum of engines and the shuffle of passengers squeezing into their rows. By the window in row 14 sat Thomas Grant, a middle-aged businessman in a tailored gray suit. His gold cufflinks gleamed under the soft cabin lights as he scrolled through emails, jaw tight with impatience. Then a shadow fell across his row. A tall black man in a sharp navy suit stood there, boarding pass in hand. His voice was calm, steady. "Excuse me, that's my seat." Thomas looked up slowly, eyes narrowing as if he'd just been insulted. "No, you're not sitting here." The man's brow furrowed. "I believe this is 14B. That's my spot." Thomas's lip curled. His voice rose, slicing through the chatter around them. "I don't care what your ticket says. I paid good money for peace. I don't want to sit next to you. Go find another seat in the back." A ripple of silence spread through the cabin. A young couple froze mid-conversation. A mother pulled her child closer. The man didn't flinch. His expression stayed unreadable, almost too composed. Thomas jabbed a finger toward the aisle. "Flight attendant. Over here. Move him. Now." The attendant froze. Every passenger within earshot turned toward row 14, waiting for the next move. The flight attendant's smile faltered as she approached. "Sir, this gentleman's ticket says 14B. That's his seat." Thomas Grant leaned back, smirking, his voice booming loud enough for half the cabin. "Listen, sweetheart, I don't care what his ticket says. Put him anywhere else. I didn't pay first-class prices just to be crammed beside some—" He paused, letting his eyes drag over the man with open disgust. Charity case in a suit. Gasps rippled down the row. The black man's jaw tightened, but he remained silent, standing tall, his ticket still steady in his hand. His calmness seemed to irritate Thomas even more. "You don't get it, do you?" Thomas barked, pointing a finger like a dagger. "People like you don't belong up here. Economy's back there. With the noise, the crying babies, and the cheap seats, that's where you fit." The young couple across the aisle gawked in shock. A teenager pulled out his phone, recording quietly. The attendant tried again, softer now. "Sir, please lower your voice. This is his assigned seat." Thomas's laugh was cruel, sharp. "Assigned? Do you know who I am? I've spent more on this watch than he's made in a year. And you want me to sit next to him?" He spat the word him like it was poison. But the man in the navy suit didn't bite. Instead, he reached calmly into his pocket, pulled out his phone, and spoke softly into it. "Yeah, it's happening. Go ahead." The cabin went dead silent. Thomas Grant leaned back smugly, convinced his rant had settled the matter. Passengers stared, some in disgust, others frozen in disbelief. He mistook their silence for agreement. "Finally," he scoffed, folding his arms. "Now get him out of here before we miss takeoff." But the flight attendant didn't move. Instead, her eyes flicked nervously toward the front of the cabin. Within moments, the captain himself emerged from the cockpit, flanked by the head flight attendant. The air seemed to tighten as they made their way down the aisle. Thomas grinned, raising his chin. "Good. Took you long enough. Now throw this guy off my flight." The captain stopped at row 14, his voice calm but firm. "Mr. Grant, I'm going to need you to collect your belongings." For a moment, Thomas blinked, unsure he'd heard correctly. "Excuse me?" The captain's expression didn't change. "You'll need to step off this aircraft immediately." The businessman's face reddened. "Me? Are you out of your mind? He's the problem. He doesn't belong up here. I'm the paying customer." The black man finally looked up from his phone, his calm gaze locking with Thomas's furious eyes. His silence seemed louder than any words. The captain's voice cut through the tension again. "Sir, this is non-negotiable. Gather your things now, or security will assist you." Gasps rippled through the rows. Passengers leaned in, eyes wide, phones raised. And for the first time, Thomas Grant's smirk faltered. Thomas Grant's voice cracked as he tried to cling to control. "This is insane. Do you even know who I am? I'll have this airline sued into the ground." Passengers chuckled under their breath, phones raised high, recording every second. The captain stood his ground, expression firm. The head attendant waited, arms crossed, no sympathy in her eyes. And then, finally, the man in the navy suit spoke. His voice was calm, steady, almost gentle, but it carried enough weight to silence the entire cabin. "Mr. Grant," he said, slipping his phone back into his pocket, "you should have chosen your words more carefully. Because this He gestured around the cabin. Is my aircraft. The words hit like thunder. Gasps echoed. A woman in the next row clapped a hand over her mouth. Someone whispered, he owns the plane? Thomas blinked rapidly, his confidence crumbling. What? What did you just say? The man leaned back, a faint smile tugging at his lips. I don't just own this plane, I own the airline, and you're not welcome on it. The captain nodded once. You heard him, sir. Off the plane. As security approached, Thomas's face turned crimson. He stumbled to gather his things, right, bombarded by the quiet laughter and judgmental stares of the passengers he thought were on his side. The man in the navy suit adjusted his cufflinks, serene as ever. Never judge a man by the seat beside you. He might own the entire plane. Thanks for watching Golden Stories. If you enjoyed this tale, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned because the next story will leave you even more speechless.